Okay, we are live now. Just if y'all can hold on 1 second, it'll probably give some folk an opportunity to get in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and post that link for you, Rick.
Okay, thank you.
hmm All right. All right. Look like we have some folk that have joined us already, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone, and to the entire UrbanCast family out there. I'm Jack, and tonight on the Let's Talk Show, we're going to be talking about building a diverse and robust economic environment here in Alexandria, one that's going to work for the entire community, not just a little selected part of the community. We really and we're going to do that talking with some folk tonight about an upcoming business expo that they're having. When our economic opportunities are spread across all neighborhoods, when small and minority-owned businesses are supported, and when entrepreneurs have the tools to succeed, we can create a stronger, healthier, and more united Alexandria. That's why I'm excited to welcome Renee White-Goolsby, President, and Rick Horton, Vice President of the Mid-Louisiana Regional Chamber of Commerce. They're here to share the details about an upcoming Mid-Louisiana Regional Commerce Business Expo happening Saturday, August the 30th at the Best Western here in Alexandria. This event is going to be free. It's open to the public. All of the events that folk can attend, anyone can come and learn and engage. And there are going to be highlights of small and minority businesses. There's going to be motivational speakers and provide valuable networking opportunities, plus food trucks and activities for all ages. Booth space is also available at an awesome rate. So if you really want to come and showcase your business here in Alexandria, that's only $50 to set aside booth space. And again, all of the activities at the Business Expo are included, and that's included in the rate of free. The only fees is if you really want to showcase your business while you're at the expo. As always, we encourage you to join the conversation. Drop your questions in the comments. Hit that like button, that share button, so others in the community can benefit from what we're about to discuss tonight. With that said, Renee and Rick, how are y'all doing tonight?
Doing just fine. Thank you for having us.
No.
Awesome. Thank you for having us. Appreciate you.
All right. So, for those who may or may not be familiar with the Mid Louisiana Regional Chamber of Commerce and its role in supporting small and local businesses, can y'all tell us a little bit about it?
Ms. President.
Mr. Rick Horton, I was going to let you lead the way. So we have been around since about 2018, 2019. Of course, were originally the Alexandria Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, which now we've changed to the Mid Louisiana Chamber of Commerce to allow us to encompass everyone and to be more diverse. So we're here to provide technical support, trainings, seminars, everything that you would need in order to help keep your small business sustainable here in Central Louisiana and our surrounding parishes.
Mm-hmm. All right. What was the inspiration behind launching the Business Expo, and why was it important to make this event a free to the public event?
Well, one of our missions is to connect local businesses to one another. Is one of our main missions at the chamber. And so this is an opportunity to fellowship and collaborate with one another, have that direct conversation with one another about business, which is why we're going to have, we're going to have some millionaires on the stage talking and telling you how they got to that point. So this is part of our networking process that we provide and we say that we're going to do within this community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you guys are putting the spotlight on small and minority-owned businesses. What impact do you hope this will have on the region's economy and community growth?
Well, I definitely would hope that for a lot of those very small businesses, those very brand new entrepreneurs, that it would allow for them to get some exposure for their businesses, as well as just the regular small business. We know that during the summertime, certain businesses or industries, they sort of slow down. So this now allows you to be able to come back out into the community, put your brand back out, and it may be someone that's rebranding themselves. They formerly were something else, and now they've decided to change to something else. So this allows for a great opportunity for your branding, getting your brand awareness out there, and also if you're rebranding your specific business. Almost like a reintroduction.
A reintroduction. Okay. All right. Can one of y'all walk us through some of the topics and motivational speakers and business development sessions that y'all are going to cover?
Okay. Some of the things we're going to do, of course, we got set up early in the morning. Mm-hmm. We're going to start bringing people in and get them to set up early. So everything is going to actually opening up at 10 o'clock a.m. Mm-hmm. Have opening ceremony, which includes the introduction of sponsors, mm-hmm. exhibitors, and special guests. And we're going to do an event overview. Mm-hmm. Then one of the first things we're going to have is, of course, discussion. We're going to have different people speaking related to banking, as always. Mm-hmm. We're going to have executive directors and CEO conversation. And we're going to talk about taxes and investing, what it means to be an investor in your business, not only a business owner, but also an investor. And then we're going to have motivational speaking, which is going to be helping people get motivated and want to get into business and learn about businesses. So we're going to do that throughout the day. We're going to have about 3 sessions of that. And then we're going to also have business highlights where if you're a booth member there, you get an opportunity to come up on the stage. I'm saying a stage, and talk about your business and what you are doing and how you're servicing the community through your business, which is an opportunity to advertise your business and speak with people directly.
All right, Rick, you and I talked when you guys were planning and we were talking. You talked about the idea that you guys are going to have representatives not only from the commercial business side, but also the business of nonprofits that are going to be there on that's going to be speaking to the public. A lot of times when you're talking to folk who are out here doing the grind in the community, they're just doing it from the heart. But sometimes they miss some opportunities to take donations from folk who might be willing to support their efforts. Speak to that, because a lot of times people look at nonprofit and they think one thing, and and really a nonprofit organization is a business. You know what I mean? And so speak to the idea that y'all are going to be talking about that as well.
Yeah, that's one of the forums we're going to have, where we're going to have CEOs and executive directors. Mm-hmm. And you will find that if a person is an executive director of a nonprofit, they parallel the CEO, chief executive officer position with any major industry across mm-hmm. the country, because you have administrative responsibilities to your nonprofit. Yes, we all know we want to have a nonprofit. We want to service the community, and a lot of times you're moving actually away from actually doing the work that you really and truly are passionate about, and you wind up getting caught up in the administrative side of it. And so this will help you to understand that, the business side of a nonprofit organization. And so that's a big thing to talk about. We're going to have an executive director there that's local here in Alexandria, that's with a very reputable nonprofit organization that does a lot of things within the community, housing and homelessness and things of that nature. So they'll be there speaking.
All right. For those interested in showcasing their own personal business or nonprofit, how can they secure one of those $50 booth spaces? And what should and how should they be prepared? I'm sorry, Renee.
I'm sorry, and if you don't mind me saying, so for retail vendors, it's $50. For food trucks, it's $125.
Okay, all right. So food trucks is $125, and for just I have a t-shirt shop or whatever, it's $50 to have a table there with jewelry, whatever. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So for those interested in showcasing the business, how can they actually secure that space ahead of time, so y'all know exactly how many tables to set up and all of that kind of good stuff, and what should they have, what should they have prepared for the event itself?
They can go to our Facebook page, Alexandria Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We're still changing that name on Facebook. Sometimes it's hard to change a name on Facebook. They can go to UrbanCast, of course, and UrbanCast has the link for it, and which have the link for them to register and everything. So we're marketing both on radio station, listen to the radio 93.9 for information on how to link up, and 88.1 with On Point Talk, and they'll be giving you information on how to register your business. So those are the great places to go to get the link to register with us. And we thought about doing Eventbrite. However, we want to make sure that we support the Black businesses within our community and market and advertise with them, so that they they are included in what's going on, of course. And we definitely appreciate UrbanCast 88.1 and 93.9 for putting our information out there and supporting Black-owned businesses.
Absolutely, and no worries on that. So and for those of you guys, if y'all are here and you're listening to us tonight, it's that top comment, or the second to the top. One of them is the default one that pops up, but it's out there. It says Expo link, and if you just click it, it'll take you directly to the place for you to go out there and go register. You guys have made this event a family-friendly event with food trucks and activities. How does that help bring the community together?
Well, I feel like it will help to bring the community together, just by the idea of we want to encompass all businesses, not just minority businesses for our business expo. This expo will encompass all businesses. So if you're just a little crafter, you're welcome to come. We believe in that unity and making sure that we can always learn from one another, and so we want to stay on that unified level in order to keep the ball rolling for all business here in Central Louisiana.
Okay. What networking opportunities are going to be made available for entrepreneurs, small business owners, and potential partners at the expo? For example, the idea that 88.1 is collaborating from a media standpoint, On Point collaborating from a media standpoint, if they're there and in the house, that gives us an opportunity to talk about our commonalities. Yeah, we are all businesses, but we also have a lot of issues that hit home, and they're unique to all of us, and we'd learn a whole lot if we focused on it. So again, what networking opportunities other than that type of stuff is going to be available?
So there will be a lot of networking opportunities. For instance, I know for a fact we will have Studyville that will be there here in Central Louisiana, which is a great company. Studyville Workspace Academics. They provide tutoring. So for those parents, back to school will have started. Kids will have gotten their first report cards. And if you're interested in doing any type of tutoring, for your students to keep them going, we'll definitely have those type businesses like that on site as well. So not only will it be informative to the businesses, making it family friendly, it will be also informative to the parents as well.
We'll also have, like I said, we're going to have millionaires on the stage. So if you can sit there and have a direct conversation with someone that is a millionaire and they made their millions by doing business, whether in the medical field, in the construction field, in the real estate, manufacturing, we're going to have them on the stage where you can have direct conversation with them. Those that make millions in retail. They're going to be on the stage so you can have direct conversation with them on how they did it and what steps they made, what challenges they had in going through to become where they are today. These people that are on stage, they're going to be people that are originally from Alexandria or working in Alexandria or maybe working somewhere else, but yet they have ties to Alexandria. Let you know, hey, you're in Alexandria, Central Louisiana, you're from here, but that does not stop you. There are things out there that you can do, and we're going to bring that to you to the table for you.
Right. That's kind of cool. The idea that people wanting to share this information with each other. It ain't Horton and putting it in a little corner and saying, "Oh, okay, I got mine." I'm willing to get out here and show you what I did or talk about what I did. From your perspective, both of you guys, how can an event like this one help create a more inclusive economic environment in Alexandria and surrounding areas? And I'll qualify that question a little bit. If you look at MacArthur Drive as a dividing line in the city of Alexandria, West Alexandria appears to be on, and East Alexandria appeared to be off, with the exception of, the hospitals that might be over on this side, the, downtown, but it's not really open for commerce. And a little speck down there where Sam's and Albertsons and that little portion. Other than that, half of the town is turned off. How do y'all think this going to help possibly turn that on? Because when you have a healthy community, you typically communities have businesses in them, and we have major corridors in East Alexandria that are just literally just turned off. And so help the folk understand, how could that help turn East Alexandria on?
I'm glad you asked that question.
Uh-huh.
the light switch.
I tell you, I'm gonna try to keep it real over here, man.
Look, the light switch has already been flipped.
I don't know about that yet, but go ahead.
We talk about the big cities where gentrification happens, and it's not the people from that community that are making that made it happen, right? The growing of that community economically. I know, and we're going to have people there that have, if you look at the Bolton Avenue, and you look at Lee Street, that corridor.
Absolutely.
There are some empty buildings along Bolton and Lee Street, right?
And some, it's a whole hell of a lot of them.
But guess what? There are Black people that own those buildings, and they are looking for ideas of what our community needs to look like in the next 10 years. So you will have that opportunity to come in and put forth your voice as to what you want to see happen in your community. From grocery stores, there's a lot of information that's going to be there that you'll be able to talk to those people, the owners of those buildings, to talk to them about investing in that and to create what your community is going to look like in a commercial way. And so they own the building, they're willing to work with you in building up what our community is going to look like, what those corridors are going to look like. And so that is community speaking out as to what they want to happen as far as economically in their surrounding.
Well, you know, Rick, it's interesting that you say, you know, that you're bringing that up, you know, that Bolton, Lee, 3rd Main Street, Broadway type of throughways in this community. I remember at one point these areas were, you know, there were tons of tons of businesses that were in that area, but here recently, you know, over the last 20 years, you know, you've just turned that side of town off. And one of the things that, you know, a ton of people will talk about is the idea that, you know, it's almost impossible to get clearance because of policies that the city of Alexandria has implemented to actually get these spaces back online. And I mean policies that are so over restrictive until, you know, it's almost, you know, unimaginable to actually get it turned on. And the question a lot of people have is this by design, because, you know, you go other places and in areas like this, they are coming back online. They are making all kind of you know, waivers to get people back online. You know, just as long as, you know, real safety issues are taken care of, and not a lot of the pie in the sky, because, you know, in a lot of other communities, the community operate off of sales tax and property taxes. So they value these spaces coming back online. On the other hand, you know, if you just look at the city of Alexandria, it operates primarily off of the profits from the sale of utilities, and it doesn't seem to value small businesses being the backbone of the community. And so, you know, I hear you guys talking, but I think there's going to have to be some work in that area of, you know, addressing the policies, because, you know, here in East Alexandria, you get told no, you get wavered in old spaces in West Alexandria. Just take TikTok's old Robbie G's right there on the corner where Ash is. You know, it's been constantly, you know, grandfathered in, waved in, and all kinds of things. And that makes sense. You know, it's crazy to think that shouldn't happen. But if it makes sense in West Alexandria, it's got to make sense in East Alexandria as well.
Right. And that's where it comes with community engaging and coming together on a united front. You know, as much as we'd love to be able to fight the battle all by ourselves, as you know, when you go to war, you got the troops that lead you in, and then you definitely have those troops that come to follow. So we definitely need those troops that remain vigilant along with us, that actually follow and actually participate and actually support things when we actually bring them up to our local government to be able to address. You know, we need you there. We need you at city council meetings. We need you voicing your opinions. We need you packing the rooms at these different places. You know, what's the saying? If you don't vote or if you don't say anything, you can't say anything at all when it doesn't go your way.
Right.
And on that same note, the city of Alexandria is the economic hub for, you're looking at 12 different parishes.
Mm-hmm.
We have the people in the place to make the difference. But the thing about it, again, is unification of the community. And you will hear it being spoken from the pulpits now. You hear it spoken on the radio. You hear it spoken on the internet. And yes, and we as a people need to make sure that we can unify and have this communication and talk to one another. Voting is super important because it's the city council that actually make things happen inside this city. You also have a police jury that makes things happen in Rapides Parish. Come on, you got the school board system that, you know, as far as the education for your youth, when you're talking about early childhood development, all these things require a unification of a community in order to thrive. You said people in other places are growing and thriving. It's because they're unified. Look at Montgomery, Alabama now. Yeah. They are growing leaps and bounds. You know, and I heard the governor himself say about he wants Louisiana to be like Atlanta. You know, he wants it to grow. But think about it. Atlanta's predominantly what? Minority. That's okay, right. But now it's a majority. and so if he can say it, then do you know the talent is here?
That's right.
Alexandria, we talk about keeping our talent. You know, we have young men and women that are super intelligent, business-wise, and they need to have older folks like myself mentoring them through it, finding that funding that we can bring into the Alexandria, having those conversations with those in the city council or the police jury to say, hey, this is what we need in our community. Let's find the money for it. You know, and you don't necessarily have to have the government monies to do that. You can, if you know somebody from an industry outside the city and you want to bring it to Alexandria, go talk to them about coming to Alexandria. The chamber, we will meet with them and talk about the possibilities and things that are here and available for economic development for their company. What resources that are here. You know, we have a port that's here that we need to grow and build on. You know, who said you can't manufacture something right here today and ship it out on the Red River? We have a building right there on Bolton Avenue, Bolton and Rapides. It's a huge building that's available for any manufacturer to come in there and start creating manufacturing, you know, from steel buildings and steel pipes or whatever it needs to manufacture and ship it out. We're right, I-49 is right there. We are a super resource. We are a super location for, you know, industry to come to Alexandria.
Right.
The farming industry is coming back. I'm a farmer. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. For residents who can't attend in person, are there ways they can still support or connect with the participating businesses that are going to participate on at the expo itself?
Yes, definitely, because thank goodness and awesomely, we will have UrbanCast on site interviewing these different vendors that will be there. So at that time, those vendors will be able to present if they've got websites, the websites where the people can actually purchase from off of the website. And of course, you can always go to our chamber page. And if you would like to donate to our chamber just to help the cause, we would definitely appreciate that as well. Just because you don't have a business does not mean that you can't support Mid-Louisiana Regional Chamber of Commerce. So you do not have to be a business owner. You can support as an individual. Just log on to our website and make a donation.
And also, you know, email us, admin at midlarcc.org. Connect with us. We have the information that can link you up. We have a technology company here in Alexandria. We connected them with a global supplier for things all technology. Guess what? He's not just here in Alexandria, he's globally now and doing biddings and contracts and sales all over the world now. So we connected them with that. You know, it's a lot of, we've connected other organizations with funding, not just state funding, but federal funding. We've connected them. You'll be finding out this information very soon, and especially at the expo, you will hear about them, and you will have an opportunity to talk to those persons about how that process went. We have small contractors that we're connecting with larger contractors, so the small contractors can build their capacity, and so they can take on the larger contracts on their own. All of these things we talk about, we say we're going to do, and we provide that technical assistance for them to do that. We are Mid-Louisiana Chamber of Commerce, but yet we are directly connected with the Louisiana Chamber of Commerce Foundation, which is a statewide organization that has many collaborations with many organizations all around the U.S. and overseas. So it's not just us here in Alexandria. You see Rick Horton, Renee, Ashley, Victor, Marcus, to Kenya.
And I think that's the misconception that they have. We did not found this chamber. Louisiana Chamber of Commerce Foundation was founded and put into place by President David St. Etienne and Vice President Kalisha Garrett. So they have gone out to all of our urban and little rural areas and formed these different chambers in order to make an impact, because we know that a lot of our minority businesses were social and economically disadvantaged and challenged. So there was a need for us to be in the city. Yes, there are other chambers, and hey, we love them as well. However, our needs are different. And so we need to be able to address those needs that concern the people, whether it's small business, female-owned business, LGBTQ business. It's totally different, and we're here to support those things.
Okay, all right.
I'm looking at this question on here.
Yeah.
From Louis to said 14.
Yeah. He follow us from over across the pond, man.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah, because it's coming to us via YouTube. As a matter of fact, we're broadcasting on our YouTube channel as well. So you see that question. So you want to chime in on that?
It says, with regards to mixed housing, are you guys considering / already applying mixing social economical groups? Might help with social cohesion. We did in Europe. Well, that's the good thing about America. Okay, you can live wherever you want to live. Okay, and affordable housing is one of the main things that is happening. So, and opportunities for affordable housing. The USDA has money to help people finance for affordable housing. So you can build your house and live wherever you want to live. Alexandria is considered a rural city. Rural city. It's an urban city, but it's considered rural because of our population here. And also the fact that how many other rural communities that we service. So we directly service 12 parishes here as we're an economic hub here. So you can get the funding for your housing. So that means what? You can live wherever you want to live, and that's the freedom that we have in America.
I think you touched upon it a little earlier about the gentrification and some of those type of things, and like Atlanta has did a pretty good job at making sure as the city encroached some of the areas, that the folk who was living in these certain areas, that they're not displaced. I think New Orleans has had the conversations. I know Nashville has, and they've done some, up in Nashville, you see communities that remind you of the Sonia quarters. And in a 10-year span of time, we saw those depressed communities, just grow. And the people who were already in them stayed in them. And, they automatically began to see equity in the property that they own. And you see all sorts of things like CVS at the corner now, a donut shop at the opposite corner, and you see people coexisting with each other, and that's right up in Nashville. And when you talk to officials from Nashville, they say we stole a lot of stuff from some of the things, we fine-tuned some of the stuff that Atlanta was pushing out. And then you go right over there to Birmingham, and it's the same thing where we just tweaked a little of that stuff that was going on in Atlanta to meet our needs, but what you were seeing is communities coming back alive. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you're not seeing the little old lady get displaced because property taxes have just gone out of the wazoo, and then somebody come and gobble up her property and that kind of thing. So are there any kind of plans to? I think that's a whole different conversation, but I'm kind of glad that question got thrown out there because it's something we ought to be thinking about.
Well, that's where financial literacy comes into place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have people here that have homes for them to understand the equity in their home and how it can be used to make their home better than where it is. If they're willing to, go through that process, learning financial literacy. How you can have assets and utilize those assets to build on those, or reinvesting back into where you are. So if you have a home that's, kind of falling apart, it still has value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can borrow money against that home because you're not paying any rent, or you're not paying any mortgage, or you're paying very little. But you can learn how to utilize the equity in that home to fix your home up, to give it more value. And nothing happens overnight. It takes time. Joseph and the Pharaoh, I always talked about that with, 7 skinny cows and 7 fat cows. That was a total of what? 7 years of famine. And then you had 7 years of wealth. Okay. That's the total of 14 years that took place. Nothing happens overnight. Right. That's why I say you look at the Lee Street and the Bolton Street corridor, we're looking at what's going to happen if you start planning now and start making moves now, where it can be in 10 years when our children that are in the second grade are graduating from high school, and how great the city can be.
Right.
And
right.
Nothing happens overnight.
Right. But
financial literacy, understand, just getting your credit score right,
Well, I tell you guys, this is a real good conversation. And I can emphatically say, if this is the kind of conversation we're going to be having on Saturday, it's going to be a good conversation. Before we get ready to get out of here, was there anything else that you guys wanted to say about anything? Renee, if you could just give us a quick rundown of when everything is going.
Definitely come and sign up. It's going to be August the 30th at the Best Western. From setup time will be 9 o'clock. It'll be till 6 o'clock. Bring your goodies out there, your homemade soaps, your jellies, your jams. We just want you to sign up. People, we want you to come out and shop and support these vendors that sign up. We know that back to school has just started. So, people will have all type of different items out there that can be utilized. So come and support. That's the main thing, is giving that support to your local small businesses.
Rick, any parting words?
Hey, Rick, like I said, if you want to be on the beginning part, because I always talk about be in the room.
That's right.
When the ideas are spoke on. Don't wait until something's already happened and then try to get and be a part of it. Be there in the beginning when the ideas first come out, and watch how those ideas grow. Believe me, the ideas are on the table right now for you to have your input in it. So be there in the beginning. Don't wait till later on and say, why y'all didn't think about this? Well, you weren't there to present that to us.
Right.
The only presentation you had was from those that were present. Right. So bring your ideas and thought processes to the table in the beginning, so we can add that into why we need money for this to grow that, So be there in the room, be there and the part of the discussion. This is about growing this city. Mm-hmm. This is about growing in the places where we know we need the growth, and involving everyone. They say this thing about minority and women-owned businesses. I just say small businesses because, they say women are a minority. So why would you say minority and women-owned? Why would you say minority? It's small businesses. We're all in this together.
Right.
And the unification of everyone. Mm-hmm. There's small businesses and big businesses. The big business can help the smaller businesses grow. And so we're all in this together, everyone. Right. And I hear it all the time, unification. We're in this together, on both sides, on every side. We need to work together and make this happen. What does that look like? What are the steps? That's having those conversations, being at the beginning of the conversations and not later on after, so you can come in and complain about it. No, be there in the beginning and let's work together and make it happen.
I hear you. Well, with that said, Renee, Rick, I definitely want to say thank you for joining us this evening. Y'all's commitment to growing a good, wholesome business environment here in Alexandria and all of Central Louisiana for everyone is certainly to be commended. We also want to thank our followers, Sattler's Towing, Long's Products, Legendary Kung Fu and Tai Chi, and the class of 2025 sponsors. I'm going to give them one good last shout out to Attorney Tiffany Sanders, Sattler's Towing again, and District Attorney Philip Terra. And for those of you guys out there, before we get ready to end this, if you guys could don't forget to hit that like, share, and comment your thoughts. Renee going to be out there reading the comments just in case. Throwing you out there, Renee. We're building something together. Yeah. We're building something together over here, in the Alexandria and Central Louisiana area, and your engagements are what keeps it moving forward. Again, y'all, thank y'all for joining me tonight to talk about y'all's upcoming benefit. Y'all have a great evening. If y'all could just hang tight, I'm gonna end the stream.